What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Barking Dog. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Crusader Kitchen. Today we are at Cowan Lake State Park in southern Ohio for Memorial Day weekend, and we're gonna make some chuck roast street tacos, or park tacos, I guess. So we're gonna start out by putting it in the Dutch oven. We're gonna make a nice little corn salsa and some simple fresh guacamole right here on site. We're cooking over the fire. Let's get cooking. All right, so we're starting off with this chuck roast, and this chuck roast comes with a little bit of a story. I picked this up at a local market the last time we were camping on the Crusader Kitchen up at Lake Laramie for the Eclipse camp out. So this is local to that campsite. It's a 3.29 pound chuck roast, and it's absolutely beautiful. I didn't go to the store for chuck roast, but sure came out with one. So starting out in the Dutch oven, we're gonna go ahead and place this guy in there. And let's make sure this is open first. We are using Street Tacos brand, Vaquero Steak. Smells really good. And we're gonna grab this guy out here. And real liberally, just coat it. Try to get all the areas. It is bone in, so this is going to be super flavorful. I'm good with that. We're going to cook it so tender that it shreds. So we're going to cover it in some beef broth. And to help it along, it needs a little bit of acidity. So today we are using a Mexican Coke. And this is warm, not that that matters. You could use orange juice. You could use anything that has some acidity to it. You could use some apple cider vinegar. But I wanted to try this, so here we are. And I'm gonna add just a little bit of an onion for a little extra flavor. And we're gonna go ahead and get this over to the fire. Here we go. All right, it's as simple as this. We'll put it on there. We're looking for a medium heat, medium low really, 325, and this is gonna take about 3.5 to 4 hours. So we're just gonna keep an eye on it, keep checking it. Let's go ahead and start working on our corn salsa. So I'm going to start by cooking some cobbed corn over the fire. And can you use canned corn? Sure. But should you? I would never tell you not to. Okay? I would never tell you that. This is how I cook corn over the fire or on the grill. What you are aiming to do is not tear off the husk, but kind of peel it back in the order it kind of stacked itself in while growing. Once you get there, you want to remove the silk. And once you have given it a little quality control and all the silk is gone, you want to fold the husk back to where it was, gently in the reverse order you just peeled it back. Cooking corn in its husk adds a fantastic flavor dimension, and I highly recommend that you try it. Once my ears are prepared, I am going to cook it on the fire, and every 15 minutes rotate them until golden. Once done, I take them off of the fire and let them cool a little bit so I can handle them safely. Remove the husk, and then with a chef's knife cut off the kernels. Boom! Fresh fire roasted corn. Now I'm going to cut up some Roma tomatoes, and I like to use Romas because I think they're the easiest to seed. That is, just removing the seeds and the jelly-like stuff the seeds are surrounded in. And I'm not following any kind of a recipe here. I want about equal parts of corn and tomato, and however much red onion I brought with me is the right amount of red onion. I made things easier on myself this trip and bought already chopped fresh cilantro. I'm using olive oil today. I would actually prefer a neutral oil, but I only brought olive oil, so that'll do just fine. And that gets a good glug just to get everything coated, and I didn't bring my entire spice cabinet with me, so it just gets a hit of my 2-to-1 salt and pepper. And I would have made things easier and brought lime juice, but I couldn't find any, so I went with fresh limes, and I just roll them with my palm to allow the fibers to easily release the juice, and then halve them and squeeze. Obviously, customize this as you please, but this is what I landed on bringing with me to the campground. Now I'm going to make a quick guacamole, and once again, this is supposed to be quick and easy, but fresh guac is far superior to store-bought. So here we go. I just have my avocados and then slice them up to remove the peel easier, and they go into a mixing bowl. A hit of my 2-to-1. I did bring cumin for this because guac needs cumin. The juice of a lime, and I really like my, as I find out later, what my uncle calls green glue. He does not do guacamole. What was I saying? Oh right, I like my guacamole creamy. So I add just a dollop of daisy, and then mash it with a fork, and my camper forks aren't up to the task, so I upgrade to a potato masher, and just do this until you reach your desired level of blended or chunky. Once the meat is done, and you can tell when it's done because it will be impossible to handle without falling apart. And if it's not falling apart, that just means you have to cook it longer. No worries, you didn't do anything wrong. Heat is just weird like that. So just place the roast into whatever you are serving it from and shred it apart. My go-to when I'm out with the Crusader is just 2 table forks. Here we go. I set this all up outside in a taco bar kind of fashion and call my people over to eat. Let's check out these Barbacoa style chuck roast tacos. Well, what did you guys think of that? A little rustic being at the campground. Got some street tacos here. Let's go ahead and just make one real quick. And obviously it shouldn't need to be said, but customize this as you will. Use a bigger taco shell, use a hard taco shell, change your meat, but do this for your friends and family. This is awesome. So we're just gonna go ahead. I need a little bit of my chuck roast made barbacoa style. I need a little bit of this corn salsa. Yep, I'm gonna have 80 of these. And a thing of guac, chunky. I'll bring this over to you guys. Look at that. What do you think? You gotta try this at the campground. That's really good. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. Until next week when we're back at the neighbor's kitchen, be well. That'll do.
That's so cool.
That's our retirement.
I was there.